Everyday Japan! Hi, welcome again to Everyday Japan. I am Val.
I'm Anna, and this is our guest.
Aki Yanagi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Mr. Yanagi-san is a former game magazine editor and is an American comics editor and is an expert on Japanese subculture, specifically video games.
Mr. Yanagi,
Yes.
As a former game magazine editor, you must know a lot of really cool spots for people who love video games to go to.
Yes. There are a lot of nice places in Tokyo right now that I'd love to recommend, especially if you like old school video games. Well, but even if you're not an old school video game, you should definitely go to Akihabara first.
Okay.
That's a nice place to go. There's a lot of game centers, and there's a lot of shops, video game shops. Not just games, but they also have shops that have a lot of, goods, related goods, like
gaming related goods, like clothes or like stuff toys
or t-shirts and stuff like that. And of course, there are a lot of shops that has a very nice old school games, like Super Potato or like Trader or
So they sell like older video game systems from like the
80s,
older,
or even
90s.
70s. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So people who are into that, you can find like collector's items there, which are in good condition.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the newer games, of course.
Of course, the newer
you can
games
buy them as well. Yeah.
Of course.
So, what exactly is a game center?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a nice question. It's a place to play video games.
A place to play video games.
And you pay money to play the games.
Pay money.
And
it's like an arcade.
Yes, arcade.
Okay, so it's like
arcade might be is a closest word, but in Japan we call all those places game center.
centers.
Okay.
And well, usually nowadays it's centered on what we call purikura, the mini
taking your
photo
picture,
sticker
photo
games.
booths.
Photo booths, yes.
Photo booths.
And we also have a lot of the
Crane
UFO
game.
catchers, the crane game.
Yeah, the crane
That you
games.
can get the stuffed characters or like nice made figures of your favorite Bishojo or whatever you like. And but we still have a lot of ongoing games that people play, like the online Dragon Ball game, or we still have fighting games all around the games center, like Tekken 7 is still strong, and of course Street Fighter, you can't miss that. Street, and we will still have a culture of the Guilty Gear series the Blaze Blue. Those two, like animation kind of, fighting gamers. And we also have a lot of music games.
Music games.
Like DDR.
Oh.
Dance Revolution.
I loved Dance Revolution
and
when I was a kid.
of course starting from DDR, they have the piano or the keyboard or the DJ sets, the
drums.
The drums, yes. And they have
Tatsujin.
and also of course Taiko no Tatsujin still popular around.
And they have Poppin'.
Yes.
And I like
they have the more evoluted version right now.
Oh, I like the one in like the cube. It's called Jubi.
Yes, Jubi. Yes, they still have Jubi, and they have more newer ones too. So we still have a lot of music games. That's like a special genre that's still staying around, and we still have a lot of what do you call it? Like sort of like an entertainment type of games that you can like use guns to play, and it's not
so
it's like interactive.
Yeah, interactive. Yes, or like you have a ride on like the roller coaster.
So it's almost like virtual reality.
Yes.
Yeah. So what other places aside from Akihabara would you recommend our viewers? Like most of them, I think they know to go to Akihabara. But are there any other places that you think they might be interested in going?
Another old school place that I like to recommend is a place in Takanobaba called Mikado. There is again a game center there. It's right by the station, and they have tons of old school video games.
What kind of old school video games?
I mean, from the 70s. I don't know if you've ever heard about it, but there's a video game called Heiankyo Alien from the 70s.
Maybe
that was
before
developed by I think it was a Kyoto University guy.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And it's almost the same time that we had the Space Invaders.
I see. Okay.
And there's also what else? They still have pinball machines.
Pinball machines.
And my favorite is again an Atari video game called Star Wars. You know the movie.
Yeah.
But back in 82 to 83, they had this video game displaying form called the vector scan, where they just use the line to show the vectors. And it was a simulation of the Death Star destroying in Episode 4. But the cabinet looks very beautiful, and you can still play the 35-year-old video game there.
Wow,
And
that's cool.
and of course there's a lot of fighting games from the 80s, 90s, and to the latest.
Okay.
And there are a lot of fighting video games that you've never seen.
Okay.
Like in Japan and in China, you may know that the Three Kingdoms is very popular.
Oh yeah.
And I went there like 3 weeks ago, and they had a fighting game of the Three Kingdoms, but I've never seen in the past.
I see. So if they're interested in like old games or new games
or weird games,
or Japan specific games, they can go to Takada no Baba.
Baba's Mikado. You can still play the old Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2X.
Street Fighter 2. Okay.
And
we're at 5 right now, so 2 until 5.
Yes.
So, we've been talking a lot about retro games, but what about somewhere where we can go to play virtual reality games? Is there any place like that?
Nice
Yeah, that's a very cutting edge technology.
Well, that you can. There is a game center in Shinjuku.
In
Okay, Shinjuku.
Kabukicho.
Okay.
Well, the landmark is to find Godzilla.
Yeah, there's a
Godzilla head.
Godzilla statue there with the Toho Cinemas.
Yes, the cinema complex
Yeah.
there. And then right a little next to it is the VR game center that just opened about a couple of months ago.
They had Mario Kart.
Yes,
cool.
They had Mario Kart.
You can play Mario Kart, and then you can like throw the shells
by your
virtual
hand.
reality.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
They also have the Dragon Ball. You can do the Kamehameha virtual reality style there, I think.
That's cool.
And I think they had like a robot simulator too, that you can actually ride on a robot. Well, not actually, but you can feel like you're riding
where you like sit down and you're like in the cockpit of a Gundam or something?
Yes.
Wow,
So
that's
Shinjuku.
so cool.
Yeah,
In
Shinjuku.
Near Godzilla.
Yes.
Next door to Godzilla.
That might be one of the state-of-the-art video games there. Yes.
Wow.
So do you have any
Games
that you can recommend for
like
female
for
gamers?
girls? Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, they can also like the same games,
of
but
course, I
like
know.
something different from like shooting and fighting.
Yeah, well, I guess one of the things that kind of developed in Japan, especially, is the dating game for girls.
Dating games.
Dating games for girls. Okay.
Can you talk about how to play these dating games?
Well, there are various types of. Usually, you become the heroine.
Okay.
And then, simply, it's just a lot of good-looking guys coming over to you.
Well, hey, I like good-looking guys.
And you can choose from a lot of good-looking guys.
A lot of good-looking guys.
And there's a lot of situations. It can be modern day. You can be a student in a school.
Wow.
It can be a historical period.
Really?
Like a samurai can be your new date.
Oh boy. Okay.
How or where can I play some of these games?
The place that is played the most is usually on PS Vita.
Oh, okay.
On
PS
PS
Vita.
Okay.
But also there's some mobile games.
Mobile games
for
for
your
these.
Androids and for your apps, for iPhones.
I see.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look this up.
So if the viewers come to Japan and they go to Akihabara or Takada no Baba, they can buy goods related to these games
they
as
are
well,
a
right?
lot. Yes, they
Oh,
are
so I
a
can buy like the goods of my favorite hot guy?
Yes.
I can have like a hot guy cap or something?
Maybe they have like a hot guy pillowcase.
Oh boy, I can have a hot guy dakimakura.
Yes,
That's
yes.
great.
Cool. So aside from these games that we mentioned and like the goods and so we have Shinjuku, we have Takada no Baba, we have Akihabara. Is there anywhere else would you recommend? Like,
or perhaps like some kind of event or something?
or like if I'm interested in video games and I come to Japan, what should I know?
That's.
Or what do you want to tell me?
there's still a lot.
There's
I'd
still
like
a
to
lot.
Tell you,
Uh-huh.
and it's like in Japan there's a game show just for Nintendo games.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's really hard to tell when it happens.
Uh-huh.
And there's also a game show for kids.
Game show for
And
kids.
it's not just game show. It's more like a culture show. So they
Culture show.
show like trade card games.
Okay.
Like they show like goods. They show like there's also a video game just for girls.
Oh.
Mhm.
Like a fashion show game
Oh,
that you
okay.
kind of collect cards.
Okay. Wow.
And that's for like grade school girls and under.
Mhm.
And they collect all those kids stuff and they have a big show and tour around Japan.
Oh wow.
Okay.
And if you can come up around that time, if you can mark the calendar, I think it's called the Next Generation Hobby Festa.
Next
Hobby
Generation
Festival.
Hobby Festa.
It's
So people
basically
should
for
make a note.
children,
Uh-huh.
but maybe you can find the next generation something for your, for you to have fun.
All right.
Wow,
So
okay.
maybe, if you can, plan a trip next time in Japan, you can look up and, make the
Wow.
dates
Yeah.
based on that too.
That's pretty cool.
Alright.
You've given us a lot of really
Yeah.
nice information, Mr.
So,
Yanagi.
Oh, I'm
yeah,
glad.
like,
So
there's
thank
like
you.
a lot of games for all kinds.
Yes,
a
for
lot
everyone.
of different places to
Yeah,
go
lots
aside
of
from the
places.
usual Akihabara.
Right.
Different interests.
Yes.
We would like to thank Manga Salon Trigger for allowing us to record this episode. They have more than 10,000 mangas in 40,000 different titles. You can read mangas volumes 1 to 3 from the different titles available. This way you can explore many new manga to read. Their staff know a lot about manga, so if you don't know what to read, they can recommend you something that will fit your taste. They also have many meet and greet events where they bring famous mangaka and artists to talk to fans about their work, sign autographs, or just have a good time with their followers. If you come to Tokyo, this is a spot you cannot miss. Manga Salon Trigger.
And unfortunately, that's all the time we have.
Yes.
But thank you again for sharing
Thank you for having me.
with us your information.
Hey, yeah, thank you so
So,
much, Mr.
right.
Yanagi.
And thank you for watching.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you.
for watching, and we'll see you again
We'll see you again next time.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Alright, bye-bye.
Bye.